Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On. Now, one of my favorite features, hands down, has got to be the fact that you can play some of your old favorite Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One without having to get your 360 out the cupboard.
Exactly, and we haven't spoken about back compat in a while. So here are the best 360 games that have come to your Xbox One recently. Let's take a look.
Alright, so first up we have Call of Duty Ghosts, which is a game that I actually played a ridiculous amount of because this was the game that I competed in. So for me, it's a lot of people's not favourite Call of Duty, but I really enjoyed it. It's got like a pretty cool campaign, but the multiplayer, if you like boots on the ground, which is obviously what we're going back to with World War II this year, this is kind of going to have as similar an experience that you're going to have in a Call of Duty game.
So you played this professionally.
Yeah.
What is it about this multiplayer which is different to the others?
It's a lot slower pace, so if you kind of, like the most recent Call of Duties, they all have, if you play them, it's all got like advanced movement systems, so it's like jetpacks, wall running, and everything like that, which has kind of changed how you approach it. It's kind of more of a Titanfall-esque sort of style. While this was just kind of boots on the ground, you ran around, it was a lot slower paced, so you have to be very careful all the time, you have to be aware of everything going on, like cover points, like 3 lanes, like the stuff that you'd be traditionally more used to from like that sort of Call of Duty. So for the multiplayer, I really enjoyed it. Score streaks weren't that powerful either. It was more kind of like you had things like the attack dog, which I've just got now, which so you just get like you affect a little pet dog that would run around and back you up. Yeah, so Riley, really annoying when you're on a streak and you're just running along and a dog comes out and kills you. But I really enjoyed this game for the competitive features, and if you like that, the campaign's also got like a really good story to it, so I'd definitely recommend playing it. It also ends on a cliffhanger, which I don't know if we're ever going to find out what actually happens to it, so it'll be interesting to see if we do, if they ever do a Ghost 2. But it's definitely worth a play, whether it's playing, and there's like really cool features as well, like I like the scoreboard as well, which actually tells you where you are on your team, like your kills and deaths, without you actually having to open up. Because what you'll notice in most Call of Duty games, people like flash up their scoreboard all the time just to look at how many kills and deaths they're doing, which isn't something you should really be doing. But it's a really good game, definitely recommend playing it if you need to Call of Duty, so yeah.
You're disgustingly good at this. Alright, so next on the list we have Geometry Wars 2, which I played a ridiculous amount of when I was a teenager. Oh god, I felt really old just saying that, really old. But yeah, we've also had a go at Geometry Wars on World's Past Achievement. Is this bringing back bad memories?
Yeah, really bad memory.
Yeah.
All I remember it being was an hour of like painful memories.
Painful memories. So I'm doing the pacifism mode now. So if you don't know what Geometry Wars is, it's this bright twin stick shoot 'em up, set with just this bright neon colours. It's crazy fun to look at. It's really simple, so you can do different modes. The more sort of the standard one is where you have to shoot these guys. So I'm doing pacifism mode where I don't have a gun, so I've got to try and lure them.
And pull off moments like that.
Yeah, lure them into these bombs to stay alive, which is really hard. And I'm gonna die. No!
You were so close. I kind of see it more as being like zombie mode within Geometry Wars 2, because it's like chainly, like the blue sparkly
Exactly,
things.
get the chains going. We've got other modes as well. This is Deadline, so we've got bullets in this one. The enemies will get increasingly more of an absolute pain in our butt.
But it's also one of those things that, because it's Deadline, you've obviously got that time limit to try and get as high a score as you can, as quickly as you can.
Way more stressful.
So building the multipliers out. It's a good one to go head to head with some friends in, and I think that's one of the things. I always feel like Geometry Wars is one of those games that you'll play on the couch with a friend and like just pass the controller and take turns and see who can do better. That's what I've always enjoyed.
Yeah, no, totally. Oh, messed that up. So when I used to play this when I was younger, me and my mates all used to get together. We even had a Geometry Wars party where we dressed up in different bright colours.
Wow, you were cool.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but I was a pretty cool teenager. And we would just like hang out and play Geometry Wars for like hours on end. So it's basically the best game to play with mates. It's a good game to play if you don't want to think. Like, either you can play it by yourself, like how I'm playing now, and just kind of zone out, and after a long day at work or school or whatever, and you can't be bothered to deal with a storyline, you can just kind of zone out and shoot brightly coloured things, or get your mates together and try and get, do a best score, time attack and things like that. It's just like a really simple game, super simple, but crazy addictive. So yeah, definitely worth getting your hands on.
All right, so next up we actually have Blazing Angels, which I used to be addicted to when I was a kid, because I was obsessed with like fighter combat simulators. It was really weird. I used to go around my friend's house because he had one on a PC, and I'd just play it loads. And I actually remember getting Blazing Angels for Christmas one year, and it was the first game I played on Christmas morning. So it used to be a thing where I'd kind of wake up, play whatever game.
Yes, you get that game you get for Christmas, and you play it all day, and your mum gets really angry at you because you're supposed to like socialise with your family and stuff. And it's like, no, I don't want to.
It's one of those things. I've always really enjoyed it. It's like why Crimson Skies was such a big game for me as well, and that's why I was quite excited. That came about an Xbox back compat, which would be really cool. But yeah, so obviously, let's get straight into battle. Right, go into some like fighter combat. So pretty much simple World War II combat, like everything. You've got like Spitfires, all that. So this is Dunkirk, which is kind of timely relevant with the new film coming out. But let's just kind of hopefully break down. It's pretty much quite a simple combat simulator as well, like fighter sim, because your right stick is like kind of your speed like accelerator, and then you just press left trigger to lock onto an objective, so you can kind of find where the enemies are and kind of get into these kind of dogfights where it's very, very close, a little bit closer for comfort.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're about to crash head on.
Come on, stop weaving. I wish I could just drop back a little bit actually, but it's fine. We're going to take him out here.
There we go.
So
there we go.
We're obviously protecting the bridge at the moment because this retreat at Dunkirk, which my granddad was actually at, which is a bit scary.
That's crazy.
Okay, right, we've got to loop back round and get some more fights. I also really love the scenery in the backdrop on this.
It's super pretty, isn't it?
For a game that's over 10 years old now as well.
Very dreamy, like, I don't know, like almost like a painting or something. It's very pretty. So, I mean, it's, in terms of modes and things, so you're doing the campaign now, but is there sort of more like arcadey kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, so they've got like loads of different sort of little missions that you can do. So if you just kind of want to do some like fighting combat, there's like options to do that. There's also like mini campaigns once you finish the main campaign. So there's actually a lot to do in the game. There's a lot of depth, and if it's just one of those games that if you enjoy kind of like fight sims, and especially with Crimson Skies coming back, it's definitely worth a hop on and a play. It's got like loads of different objectives, nice campaign. And obviously, right, you can go do daring things which you shouldn't realistically do.
Come on.
Just kind of like go along.
Do a barrel roll underneath the bridge.
Barrel roll?
No, I can't do a barrel roll.
No,
don't crash.
No.
Don't crash.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I would never crash.
There you go. You're
unless
good.
it was on purpose.
Oh, wait, can you pull this off? Can you pull this off?
All
the way to the bottom?
No,
I mean, you kind of pulled it off, but it...
No. I pulled it. What do you mean? I pulled it off. I didn't pull it off. I was doing... Oh, God, no. That's not what I wanted to do.
So if you're going to play this game, which you should, don't play like Benny plays, basically. Just don't do what Benny does. What? That's good advice to take for the rest of your life.
Don't do what? That's not very nice. Look at this. Look at the control. Look at the level of control that I have. So look, like it's beautiful.
So close to the ground.
That right is Blazing Angels. Definitely worth a play. It's good fun. Like round fight, and then you can crash into a tree and blow up.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so next on the list we have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is actually my favourite in the entire Assassin's Creed series. That's saying a lot.
I was about to say that because you always go on about Brotherhood. It's always, every time Assassin's Creed comes out, it's like, Brotherhood.
Brotherhood was the best one as far as I'm concerned. So I'm a big Ezio fan.
Yeah.
I think he was the best protagonist they had. He was just very charming and I don't know, he was a great character and also, attractive man, all right? Yeah, I said it. So his trilogy, it's just really good. So you got Assassin's Creed 2, they got Brotherhood, then we got Revelations. You can get the whole set, it's been remastered. Yeah. But if you already have them on the 360, you don't want to get the new set, you can now obviously play Brotherhood back compat on your Xbox One. So the reason that I preferred 2 above anything else is I think it just hit its sweet spot. Like for me, it had the best location, set in Italy. I just love. Big fan.
Doesn't love Italy?
Yeah, it's just a beautiful place, genuinely just a gorgeous place to explore. So it had that going for it. But it also introduced the whole idea of Brotherhood. It introduced getting other assassins to come in and help you out. Yeah. So like you could call on them to come join you in battle. And like if it was, it made it quite easy, don't get me wrong, but in terms of just like being really satisfying, you could just call your mates and they'd come and beat everyone up. It's kind of like being at school or something.
What, is that what you did at school? It's like, oh yeah, come on, beat this guy up.
I was being the one being beaten up, but
that just took a dark turn. But I know what you mean. It kind of makes you feel as if you're part of something bigger. So you can kind of call on the allies, which is back in those days, it's what you would have done. You wouldn't have gone around doing everything by yourself because you need that team to help you out.
Well, it was cool because it was, this whole idea of, again, in Assassin's Creed Origins, it's the beginning of the Brotherhood. So it's the idea of being part of this, this Assassin's Creed against the Templars, like this kind of team of people that you, like you said, you're not just on your own. And this is, Bayek will have started it. We'll find out more in Assassin's Creed Origins. So this is Ezio continuing his story. It's all sort of to do with the Apple of Eden, which is this all sort of powerful, destructive thing. But it's quite an in-depth story, so to put on a nice little easy twist on it, it's a very powerful apple, basically. And Ezio's fighting against the Templars. He's the good guy, and when we play in Brotherhood, he's already, as you can see, super kitted out. The first Assassin's Creed 2 was all about his humble beginnings, and now he's there. He's already a pretty badass assassin, and Revelations follows him when he's a lot older, and the sort of end of his journey. So Brotherhood's also good because it's the height of his journey. It's when it's all like he's powerful, he's a great assassin. I feel like it's just for me, the strongest moment of his trilogy, and so far the strongest moment of the entire series. I think Origins is going to be the one which may change my mind in terms of what's the best one, because playing it at E3 did blow me away. But if you have the series and you want to go back and play back to Italy and back with Ezio, then now you can play Brotherhood on your Xbox One. So go do that today.
All right, now next up we have a game that I am most excited about on the list, and it's one that you definitely have to play, and that is Dead Space 2.
But what if you're a big wimp like me? Do you definitely have to play it? What if you're scared for your sanity? What about them?
It's just an extra thing that you have to go through. Like, we've booted up the start of the game because I think this game's got an awesome intro sequence as well, and I think it's one of those games that you just have to experience. Like, the first Dead Space is amazing, and if you like a game that's kind of like a mix of a third-person shooter with a bit of horror and filled with jump scares, this is the game for you. The story is incredible. Like, there's moments in it where you're just like going, oh, everything's fine, and then next moment, it goes 0 to 100 real quick, and you're like screaming at the top of your lungs.
I'm such a wimp. I mean, I'm literally the most jumpiest person ever. I tried to stream Outlast 2 for Xbox On, and it was an absolute mess.
Yeah.
I knocked over my microphone and pulled out the controller and had to sit down for a bit and just get my breath back. So I don't think I can play this, Benny. I just don't think I can, which is why you're in control, because I can't handle it.
But, this is where it starts getting freaky. This is where the game kind of kicks. I think it's got one of the best intros for this sort of game, because you're just like, oh, right, cool. It was all a dream, it's fine. Right, I've woken up, everything's... Even though, because if you play the first Dead Space, you know everything's not going to be fine.
Right. False sense of security.
Yeah. And this is the thing, it's like you sit down. I first played this game when it was middle of the night, very dark outside. I was home alone, and I was just like, okay, I'll just have a go on Dead Space 2. Big mistake.
I've heard that the beginning of this is infamously scary.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it though. I purposely avoided it due to my fear.
Just watch and just kind of it's, it is a boom.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's the thing, right? No. You just hop in and you're just like, what in the world is going on? Right, and then you're just like, okay, all right.
Gross.
Now he's got something growing out of his head.
Gross. That's the worst. Oh, God, Jesus.
Like I said, 0 to 100 real quick, and then you got to go through this sequence where you're just like, nope, get me out here, get me out.
It's always the person that's saving you is, run.
I'm running, don't worry. Right, and all these things are just bursting out, and you're just like, no, please. Right, it's just built to freak you out.
If I was playing this alone, I just couldn't. Oh God, I'd have some kind of nervous breakdown.
And then you're just like, I need to get past, and then things start bursting out of nowhere. You think you're going to get away. It's fine, right? And no, oh dear.
Yeah, this is horrific. So later on, I'm assuming you get a way of there we go, a way of protecting yourself, and you can eventually shoot these things in the face.
Yeah, you get out of the straitjacket.
I mean, that would be useful.
That is a key thing. Thankfully, we've escaped these guys. But genuinely, this is a game that I would totally recommend playing. If you haven't had a chance to hop on, give it a go, you won't regret it.
All right, for our next game, which is Radiant Silvergun, we've enlisted the help of our editor, Kieran. Hey, Kieran.
Hello.
So you know way more about this game than Benny and I know, so we thought it better that you explain what's going on rather than us.
Okay, so Radiant Silvergun is a game developed by this absolutely banana studio called Treasure, who make basically incredibly hard shoot 'em up games. You see some classic games like 1942 by Capcom and things like that. This makes those look relatively pedestrian. So you've got a huge bunch of guns that you can see on the side, but you've got your classic gun, and it's oh, let's now add lightning to it, or a sword.
So as I say, there's a lot of button prompts going down the side of the right-hand side of the screen, and we looked at the list,
the control
list, and it's like you have to memorize that because that's like hard work. That's homework.
It's bananas, but a lot of people might not have heard about this game, but there is another game that the studio made called Ikaruga, which is a bit more famous. I imagine more people might have heard of that one. It's very much a game in the same style and the same kind of vein. So if you enjoyed Ikaruga, I'd definitely say you'd enjoy Radiant Silvergun.
So if you almost like in a kind of on the same kind of wavelength as Geometry Wars in the terms of you've got lots of bright things coming at you which you're shooting and killing. It's almost kind of like that in a way.
Yeah,
it's probably the most similar on our list.
There's so much
month.
stuff to learn about with this game that I could spend a stupid long time explaining, but I'm a little bit afraid I will bore everyone. So what I will say is if you like shooting things and you like massive colours and just really hardcore games, give this a shot.
So there we have it, so the best Xbox 360 games added to the Back Compat program. Make sure to let us know what your favourite is in the comments below, and if you want anything else added to it. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content.
Yeah, and make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.